What's an unfun fact? Parvovirus can infect dogs and cats at any particular age and kill them pretty efficiently. It's especially good at doing this with puppies. There's no cure and no antiviral. Just boosters and hydration forth you can give them. When a dog comes home healthy from the recovery from a parvo infection, they are contagious for 2 weeks, and if they pee, poop or vomit anywhere at all, including dog parks, that freaking virus is able to survive for up to a year, including in 100-degree weather. Parvovirus sucks. During WW1, the British intelligence service created a propaganda campaign that said the Germans were boiling their dead to extract fat and produce nitroglycerine to replenish their dwindling supply. This lie was exposed after the war, and there was a considerable amount of public outrage when similar reports came back of the atrocities that the Nazis were committing during WW2. Most people dismissed them because of the boy who cried wolf situation 20 years earlier and really damaged the public opinion of the war, which no one wanted to repeat in the first place. Around 1.5 million people die from TB annually, which is a disease consistently treatable by antibiotics in almost all cases. Fatal familial insomnia exists. It's a rare, incurable prionic brain disease that progressively destroys your brain's ability to sleep. Eventually you stop sleeping altogether, go insane, have seizures, and die. When your skin becomes red from spending too much time under the sunlight, it's basically because your skin cells are committing suicide to avoid becoming cancerous. Edit. Source. The process is called apoptosis. And when cells whose DNA gets messed up by radiation doesn't commit suicide, that's when it starts growing out of control, and thus becomes skin cancer. I'm no expert, but many medical students and professionals I know have told me this is how it works, perhaps in an oversimplified manner. Brush-tailed possums are coprophagic, eat their own crap. They need their food to go through their digestive system twice to get all the nutrients. They are nocturnal, so spend the night eating eucalyptus and other plant leaves and flowers. During the day, they curl up into a little ball with their mouths closed to their bums, and eat the soft poo as it comes out in. Then while they're out at night, they poo out hard, long pellets of poo, having absorbed all the nutrients. Depends on what you find as fun, but King Henry VIII exploded in his coffin while the grave was being dug. The mess was cleared up by stray dogs. Only 1 in every 1,000 sea turtles born ever make it to adulthood. Dead people can get goosebumps. Scallops have eyes. Around 200 under the shelly lip. The first responder to die in 911 was killed by someone jumping out of the building and landing on them. Male cats have spines on their penises that rake the walls of a female's vagina to trigger ovulation and to hold the female in place while mating. A human tooth has 36 calories. The female tarantula hawk wasp stings a tarantula between the legs, paralyzes it, then drags the prey to a specially prepared burrow, where a single egg is laid on the spider's abdomen, and the entrance is covered. Sex of the larvae is determined by fertilization. Fertilized eggs produce females, while unfertilized eggs produce males. When the wasp larva hatches, it creates a small hole in the spider's abdomen, then enters and feeds voraciously, avoiding vital organs for as long as possible to keep the spider alive. After several weeks, the larva pupates. Finally, the wasp becomes an adult and emerges from the spider's abdomen to continue the life cycle. There's a planet where it rains molten glass horizontally at 5,400 miles per hour or 8,700 km/h. When a male bee drone ejaculates, its testicles explode and the drone dies. It is literally a one-shot wonder. Sea otters kill and rape baby seals. Not always in that order. Can we get a subreddit for these? I'd like to get depressing facts on the regular. Thanks. That brain-eating amobus exist at all, and is also pretty commonly found in freshwater ponds and lakes. Apparently only 4 people have survived getting it in the last 50 years. People who handle cockroaches develop allergies to them. This usually prevents them from drinking pre-ground coffee, because of the cockroaches that get grounded in with the large batches. Squirrels will eat baby birds and horses will eat baby chicks, if given the chance. Deep sea octopus babies take 5 years to hatch, while mama octopus never leaves the nest to feed, and dies when the babies hatch. She doesn't eat for 5 years. Edit. Oh my, this really blew up. Many of you pointed out the source already. It is from Radio Lab Optimum episode. I highly recommend. Whales don't die of old age. Eventually they just don't have the strength to resurface and slowly drown. There are only 2 states in the US that have outlawed child marriage. One of them only just put it into law a few weeks ago. 23 states don't even have an age limit on marriage. Tapeworms can grow up to 32 feet inside of you, and they eat half of what you eat. Dolphins in captivity usually commit suicide by suffocating themselves. Famous example. Flipper. Suicide bombers are a lot easier to identify post-mortem than you'd expect. This is because the blast from the suicide belt hits the base of the head in such a way that the head pops off like a cork. Investigators therefore have a relatively intact head to ID. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. In response to speculation in the comments, I'd like to say that I'm not a veteran, a forensics expert, or a gore site editor, and I have not witnessed this in person. Although I have seen a couple of photos. I'm just a true crime guy who looked into the forensics after the St. Petersburg and Manchester bombings in 2017. My original source was a quote by journalist Jobby Warwick. Scuba divers can experience a sudden change in pressure when swimming near pipes, and will get sucked inside. Doesn't matter the size of the hole. It's called delta P. Worst part. Someone else usually has to go inside the pipe to remove the body. Bacteria usually outnumbers your own cells on your own body. How dare they? There is a penguin species with 6 practices that were so disturbing that the person studying it almost didn't publish his findings. It involved a lot of rape, necrophilia and pedophilia. Every unborn baby grows a mustache in the womb, which then spreads to cover the entire body. The baby then eats the entire hair called lanugo, and excretes it after birth with their first bowel movement, which is a substance called meconium. An octopus will literally rip its own penis off and throw it at a female, and the female ducks herself with said penis. Who said romance is dead? When preparing a body for an open casket, the mortician will sew the person's jaw shut to keep their mouth from flopping open, and place special contact lenses on the eyes lined with hooks, both to keep the eyelid from snapping open due to shrinking tissues, and to give the eye a bit more natural bulge, as the eye tends to sink into the socket after death. As dead bodies decay, they burp or release gases. For this reason, caskets and mausoleums need to be ventilated so that the gas can escape. You may have heard that South Koreans have a superstition called fan death, where if you keep a fan on too long it will kill you. The history of its origins is much darker. When people committed suicide and the coroner had to determine cause of death, they would say it was death by fan. This is to save the face of the family and not cause them shame. It eventually became a superstition, and one that Westerners find funny. The Zodiac Killer cold been caught numerous times, if not for San Francisco police/dispatch incompetence. A coronal mass ejection, CME, is a powerful burst of energy from the sun, disrupting electronics and causing blackouts. The last time one hit Earth, it ignited telegraphs on fire. We are due for one every 150 years. The last one hit in 1859. These solar storms are a release of plasma and accompanying magnetic field from the solar corona. Wait a minute. Edit. I'm told we are due to be hit by one every 150 years. They happen quite frequently and miss Earth all the time. There are a lot of bug parts that we eat in our food without knowing. There's a species of river dolphin and there are less than 10 in the world. Everyone loves river dolphins. There could be some planets swimming in the deep space without suns and even without galaxies. And you can't even see stars from their surface. Absolute darkness. The singer of the Peanut Butter Jelly Time song died in an 11-hour-long police shootout in Las Vegas. All while his brother-in-law Snoop Dogg was trying desperately to calm him down. Anyone can have a brain aneurysm at any age. No matter your health situation. Female ducks get raped so frequently that they have a second decoy vagina that they can offer to intruders, so they don't get pregnant by the duck they don't want to get pregnant by. Edit. Holy crap. This blew up. Thank God it was about duck pussies. Wouldn't have wanted to waste it on something stupid. Cockroaches stab their mates with their barbed insect sticks and come in the lady cockroach wound. A single female tiger killed 436 people in India. She is known as the Champort tiger. Wikipedia. There is a whale called 52 Blue that only sings at that frequency, meaning it can't communicate with other whales. It is nicknamed the loneliest whale on the planet. Anne Frank's diary had details of masturbation in it, yet it was taken out by her father before publishing until recently. The most common last words that are said before dying is typically something doesn't feel right or something is wrong. Of course. Followed by a severe heart attack / stroke / whatever. Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good. Deforestation in the Amazon got up 55% from January to April. Molinim finding Nemo should really turn into a woman and Nemo becomes the husband. That's what happens when the female dies. There's about 500 languages which have died out and or are being less and less used with each passing day. You have a higher chance of dying on the way to get a lottery ticket than actually winning. The cat on the cover of Unfun, Jawbreaker's 1990 debut album, was named after Sammy Davis, Jr. There are at least 8 nuclear weapons known to be missing. Edit. Just woke up to this. Thank you for the awards. And thank you for wishing me a happy cake day. This is a terrible thread to go through before bed. On average 12 children are sexually assaulted every 45 seconds. Edit. This blew up overnight. First comment to get over 1k upvotes. For advice, some of my friends and family work in the police and child protection services. This is the number they told me. Piper Perry, the girl on the couch with 5 black guys behind her meme, came home from a shoot one night to find that her boyfriend had shaken her toddler to death. One day the last person who knows your name will die, and you will be forgotten. You could still be alive when this happens. After experiencing the symptoms of rabies, there is no going back. You are dying 100%. Your nipples are older than your teeth. Most animals will kill you before eating you. Bears just start eating you. Judith Barcy, the little girl who voice acted Ducky in The Land Before Time, was murdered by her father at age 10. All they found of her and her mother were charred remains. The father shot himself after. Edit. I feel guilty now for spreading this sad fact so widely. Sorry to the many childhoods I'm told I have retroactively ruined. Tree Star. Your voice on recordings is actually how your voice really sounds. Your voice in your head is a bit muffled and deeper, because the sound travels through your head instead of the air. That's why it feels weird to hear your own voice recorded. Edit. Actually, your recorded voice is a bit high-pitched. It takes a very good microphone to capture your real voice, but the one in your head is, most of the time, way off. You know, when you search for businesses, and you see the maps, and get directions and stuff, the companies aren't necessarily the best companies. They just paid a lot of money to pop up when you searched for them. I know because it's my job to manipulate the search. Lots of good companies have the budget to show up, but unfortunately, so do unethical companies. Horses are omnivores. The last state to ratify the 13th Amendment, the one banning slavery, was Mississippi. in 2013. I'll give you 2. The most common cause of death for tall people is a heart attack, brought on by the fact that their hearts just naturally have to work harder than average to circulate all that blood through that larger body. Left-handed people are most likely to die in an accident involving a power tool, because they're all designed by right-handed people. For right-handed people, I'm tall, 6 feet 6, 5 inches or 198 meters, and I'm left-handed. Which one will it be for me? Edit. Yay. My first ever award. I got a yikes. Thank you. Generous Redditor. Edit 2. The most upvotes I've ever had by far. And now 4 awards. Thank you. Fellow Redditors. Whales can ejaculate 40 gallons of semen at a time. Most of it doesn't make it in. Edit. How a whale come? Sea salty. Romeo and Juliet was a 3-day fling, not a love story. Your lips are made of the same skin as your anus. Do you have lips on your ass? Or an anus for a mouth? Loads of people have their ashes scattered at Disneyland. The place is essentially one giant haunted house. It takes longer to say www than it does to say World Wide Web. The hyena's bite has a pressure of 1,100 pounds per square inch, 76 kg per square centimeter or 760 newtons per square centimeter. Trees actually only make roughly 20% of the world's oxygen, with the other 80% consisting of the algae phytoplankton. So simply planting trees isn't as effective as you'd think. That everyone can perceive me and have their own unique mental image of who I am, and that none of them, even my personal one, are wholly completely accurate. The most unfun part is that it can happen to you, too.